Look in my eyes, what do you see? Cult of personality. A cult of personality. Look in my eyes, what do you see? Venom! Ba-dum-dum.
Freaks. Yes. I got this one freak that I'm trying to get rid of from Jersey, though. She's out to here. Nah. What about that one you got?
It's your boy again?
Yeah.
Retired.
Okay, listen, what are we going to do? What are we going to do?
I got freaks 9 days out of the week. I can give him...
There's only 7 days in a week.
Man, you ain't Big Pop. I'm the big bad booty daddy. It's nonstop. Now listen.
English!
Such a classic promo.
Always.
Oh, man. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Pin Down Podcast. Now, look, our schedule's been a bit funky, all right? But we're here right now because there was a lot of shit that we wanted to talk about.
Yeah.
So much so that it would be too much for it would take over the entire live stream. And I feel like the video is probably the best format for it to do. We are doing this on December 11th, okay? Some things may change. We've had things change pretty quickly before we record this. Some updates, right? So things may be different by the time you're seeing this. I don't know when that will be, but it will hopefully be pretty close to when we recorded this. Look, I know a fair bit about this stuff going on. There's a couple situations, right? There's Ricky Starks, Willie Mack, Ray Phoenix, Ryan Nemeth. It's just it all circles around AEW though.
Yeah.
And this company is in a really bad spot. I know we're not fans of AEW, but it's not good to see a company in this spot.
No.
Especially not the second biggest company in the world.
North America.
Professional wrestling.
TNA at its worst didn't have this many fucking
at least
PR.
TNA's worst PR thing was the Billy Corgan stuff, and that was with one person.
Yeah.
This is pretty bad. I know we talked about Neville with WWE off camera, but I don't even think that situation was quite as bad as this, because these are a ton of things all happening at once, and WWE rarely holds on to people when they don't want to be held on to. They'll just get rid of them.
Yeah.
Because they know somebody else wants to come in and take their spot. And so they'll
especially
happily
NXT.
Be like, all right.
Yeah, especially
NXT. They have NXT,
because like, whoever they let go, they can always replace someone else, right?
There's a million great wrestlers who all want a shot at being,
and even on the main roster, how young they are. You already got a bunch of young people within the main roster.
Yeah. So I don't know where we're gonna start, Mr. T. Do we start with Ricky? I feel like that was the first one of this.
Yeah, Ricky was like what kicked it off.
Yeah. Let me get this ready to go.
Yeah. So for anyone who doesn't know, we're talking about Ricky Starks. All right. That was, I would say, one of Cody's guys. Man, I listened to his podcast and I felt bad for him, man. He seems like he wants to wrestle and do all that. But Mr. T, I'll let you lead us into it. Let you take us away with the Falcons versus the Raiders on Monday Night Football.
Yeah, sir. I couldn't find on Twitter. So, yeah.
No, it's all good. It's all good.
I don't know why it says Booker T for it, but never mind. Anyway,
it's Booker T. He's involved. This is all Booker T's fault.
You know, I might have to quit sharing for a second. I might have to find other posts.
Ladies and gentlemen, only on the Pin Down Podcast will you find us fill up a article that is totally shit and have to go look for a brand new one in the middle. I guess I'll give people like some cliff notes on it before we go real in depth while you're trying to sort that out. Okay, so Ricky Starks, I think the thing that really started this off was GCW. So Effie, who is a wrestler at GCW, made some comments about Tony Khan. Okay. Were they smart comments to make? I don't think so. Not if you're a wrestler. Oh my God. All the shit I say about Tony Khan, if I was a fucking wrestler, there's no way I'd be saying that shit.
No,
of course
because you want to get hired, because that's a potential.
Exactly. Even if I do believe that AEW is creatively a shitty place, I should also have enough faith in me as a worker that I can help be part of that solution.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't be shitting on the company. Look,
it's the
there's no
equivalent
way
of like
I am
shitting
going
on
to
Triple
be.
H.
Yeah, there's no way I'm going to be part of the solution for AEW. I have no problem shitting on them. And the same thing with WWE when they fuck up. Luckily, WWE has been on a pretty good streak putting out mid
shows. Well, at worst, mid.
Sorry,
and we
Survivor
did call
Series
them out.
Mid.
War Games. That women's War Games match was hot garbage. And I called it out that moment. Yeah.
Yeah, it's bad. But yeah, so basically, Effie made some comments. Ricky Starks was lined up to do some GCW dates, including at the Hammerstein Ballroom.
Mm-hmm.
And it was right after that clip of him at the Mall of America at the GCW event they did there. And that one went viral. And everyone's like, holy shit, why aren't they using Ricky Starks, right? So anyways, Trey died. And at the same time, Ricky Starks had been pulled from all these dates because of something Effie said. Now, Effie is not involved at all in the management of GCW. Okay, he's purely a wrestler.
Yeah.
So it's not the management of GCW saying this. It is a wrestler who works for them. Which,
I found.
Oh my God! How often do wrestlers from AEW take shots at Vince or Triple H or any of that?
A lot.
That happens all the fucking time, right? That's a problem. Yeah, it's utterly ridiculous and completely hypocritical. And then he went on a podcast with Chris Van Fleet that came out around the same time as the other news that had been previously recorded, and that situation went pretty big. So I see that you have the article. Mr. T, would you like to read this article for us in your succulent voice? I regret using the term succulent now.
I regret reading it. I don't know if this is going to be any good or not, but I'll give it a shot.
That if you fuck it up, we'll kill you.
Yeah. Anyways, let's move along. According to Sean Ross Sapp, from Fightful Select, the reason why the Ricky Starks was pulled from the GCW event is because the comments made by GCW talent and independent contractor / wrestler Effie on his podcast regards of comments made towards AEW owner Tony Khan and his father Shad Khan. Now, for context, if anyone doesn't know who Effie is, this is the guy that freaking a couple years ago wrestled against John Moxley at a GCW event, and Moxley had him in the sleeper hold, and he started jerking himself off for the comeback.
Yeah, literally they come on his back. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, all it's right. That's a different story for a different time. But basically, the whole premise is the reason why that Tony's got AEW is because, in the words of Effie, Tony got the money so he would leave his dad alone. So his dad gave him AEW, so he just fuck off and just leave him alone, let him do his business, right? Tony has some problems with that. So Tony, being kind of a little petty bitch that he kind of is, he pulled Ricky Starks from the GCW event at the Hammerstein Ballroom. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think the week after that, AEW booked the Hammerstein Ballroom, if I'm correct. And they're going to be doing Dynamite, Collision, and I think they're doing the Ring of Honor pay-per-view there too. I think it's Worlds. Is it the December pay-per-view for Ring of Honor? So what is that? Worlds,
not Worlds End. It's
Worlds Collide or
Worlds
Final
Collide.
Battle. Final Battle. That's what it is. Yeah, I think it's what's Final Battle. But that's what they're doing. So here's Ricky Starks in the middle of all this shit, and now he's he's pretty much fucked because Tony gave him permission. When was the last pay-per-view they had? I think couple weeks ago, right?
Fuck.
Or Dynamite. It was either the pay-per-view or Dynamite. But anyways, the point is he got the blessing from Tony. Tony said go do the dates. And then this all
Full Gear. Yeah, that was the last
Yeah.
pay-per-view.
And this is what happened. This is what unfolded. So context-wise, Ricky Starks, has been out since I think March of this year due to a stinger in his neck, I think. And pretty much the creative, they've done nothing with the guy. He's been at home collecting a paycheck.
Well, and according to his interview with Chris Van Fleet, he's not injured anymore. He hasn't been injured for months.
Exactly.
They just have had him sitting at home.
That promo he did at GCW, he seemed fine to me. He was like walking around.
That promo was good. He was ready to, and the promo was him being like, "Hey, my career's come to a fucking standstill because people won't book me. You know, I'm here to get to work, right?"
Yeah.
And turns out, I don't know, like art imitates life. You know, life imitating art, imitating life. Now he's pulled from those dates.
And also, apparently, he got some heat for going to WrestleMania when Cody won the title, and at the Royal Rumble, he got some heat with the boys. They were pretty pissed off that he went, which is so stupid to me because everyone's supposed to be saying, "Oh, we liked Cody, so we're happy for him." I think it's kind of funny. You just kind of showed your true colors. You guys
also
just petty bitches.
Didn't Bailey like go to like an AEW thing for Sasha?
Yeah. Keith Lee was on fucking the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
He was in the background. He was walking around. Like, Dustin Rhodes was there. Like, people show up all the time. It's wrestling. All right.
Yeah.
I don't say this to be weird, but it is a very incestuous industry. There's a lot of wrestlers who marry other wrestlers. Can we be? And a lot of wrestlers who are friends with other wrestlers.
Rhea's married to an AEW. Rhea and Zelina are both married to AEW wrestlers.
Yeah, Buddy Matthews shows up at WWE.
Yeah, Buddy Matthews, Aleister Black, who's most likely coming back soon.
The only thing in the contract states, the only thing it shows that you cannot be on camera. Okay, you cannot.
And even if you are, it's not a problem. Like with Keith Lee, where it was obviously an accident.
That was an accident, but like remember that guy in WWE, Rory, that showed up for Impact? He got he lost his job after that. They showcased him, but that's a different story. Yeah, and that's the thing. That's what we were just talking about. Guys and girls are dating each other within the industry, so it's like it's very stupid, right? These people are clearly dating each other. What's the big deal?
They fucking
literally.
You should let them. But even if they aren't, they're just friends. Like, I think it's totally. Who are you as an employer to tell someone you cannot go support your friend? Right, just because of I get you can't go work with your friend on TV. That's fine. I totally get that, and I think every wrestler in the right mind understands that. Hence why Dustin couldn't be there during the celebration for Cody in the ring, which I think Tony should have made an exception. If it was me running AEW, I would have made an exception.
Yes,
I would have said, "Hey, you can be on camera." Okay, I don't even need you to shout out AEW. You just go. This is a big moment, right? Especially considering that Tony was an executive vice president of the company. You do have a working relation with that person, and even though they're not there, I think it would be the right thing to do. Okay, maybe I'd be a shit booker if you want to say that. Sure, whatever. But everything else, nobody ever like. I don't get it, man. How does this company? So you take Ricky Starks, who honestly was one of the better heels they had.
Oh, he was hot at the time.
He was fucking great. I know
the name I was hearing about for a while.
Vanilla Midget Rock, which was not a good comeback. That was pretty cringe. But he got Edge actually angry.
Yeah,
apparently. Yeah,
but that shows you another problem too. Why are wrestlers getting actually angry at other people for their promos?
Nobody's AEW thing. Not just that. You saw Dustin Rhodes tweet about, we got to protect AEW.
That's the thing. I am so sick and tired hearing stand up for AEW. I like for example, like FTR, Dax Hardwood. He does it religiously. Stand up for AEW. Look,
Nobody's saying stand up for WWE. No one's saying stand
Yeah,
up for TNA.
at their worst. Remember when WWE was getting shit on in like 2018, 2019? Were you seeing like Roman Reigns stand up for WWE?
Yeah.
Seth Rollins stand up for WWE. You weren't seeing that.
Yeah.
They took it on the chin and got better.
Yeah.
Fucking Tony, come on.
And that's another thing too. I think we should mention too. Since Tony's big rebuttal to this whole thing with Effie, I think he's not signed, but he's got Matt Cardona wrestling against Chris Jericho the week after the GCW show for Ring of Honor. 2024, Matt Cardona is wrestling Chris Jericho for the fucking Ring of Honor Championship.
You know what I'm gonna keep saying this. Batista versus Big Show for the ECW title energy. That is what that brings me.
Yeah.
Zack Ryder and fucking Jericho for the Ring of Honor title.
Yeah.
That's wild.
It's just sad.
So we have that. So Ricky Starks, disgruntled employee number 1. Let's say disgruntled, okay? I think some of these people would probably argue in public, I'm not disgruntled. I just have a couple issues. Okay, for the sake of this, we're saying they're disgruntled, okay?
Yeah.
You want to argue semantics? We will. Disgruntled employee number 1. Do we move on to disgruntled employee number 2? See what's behind door number 2.
Should we talk about Ryan Nemeth?
Yeah, because we can talk about that.
I think we leave Ray. I think we leave Ray till the end.
Yeah, Ray should be last.
Willie Mack real quick, just to get him out of the way.
Yeah.
You want to find
that situation's weird because Sean Ross Sapp put out a tweet, then deleted said tweet, saying that Willie Mack had been pulled from GCW as well. I don't know if you can. I don't know if you can find in the Discord the one thing that has to do with Christopher Daniels that is involved with this.
Let me find it. Let me look for it.
It might be from a little back.
I'm trying to think of a moment. Has WWE had this much bad PR?
No,
not all in one stretch.
No.
And Vince was more of a personal thing. It didn't.
Yeah,
really
that's a personal. That didn't affect the company at all.
Okay, I found it.
Okay.
So let's talk about Willie Mack. This is from Cultaholic. All right. So if you want to judge sources, okay. And their source is the Wrestling Observer Radio.
Oh.
Yeah. So do this with a very big grain of salt because it is Dave Meltzer, and he's told us Backlash was going to be in the Tokyo Dome.
And Jade Cargill, remember Jade Cargill is actually injured. No, guys, she's not actually injured. She'll be back soon.
How many times has he done this? How many times does Dave Meltzer say
the Alpha stuff
all the time?
The Alpha stuff before he actually
being dead like a month and a half before he actually died.
Yeah.
And then no apology or anything to his family.
2024 has not been a good year for Dave Meltzer. It's been a year of really people seeing through his bullshit and seeing what kind of person
fake budgets. Is. Oh my God, I forgot about the fake budgets that he was reporting is real.
Yeah.
But anyways, this is a report coming. It's been aggregated to us by Cultaholic, but it's from Wrestling Observer Radio. Ooh, official. All right. So what this says is more details surrounding Willie Mack, GCW, and AEW have emerged. All right. This is all alleged because I'm not taking anything Dave Meltzer writes as fact. He could tell me that the sky's blue and I would have to take a double take to say that's true.
Yes.
Green die.
Hey, it's a late deal. And said that he was pulled from the show by AEW over the Effie situation. So Brett Lauderdale, really upset, calls Sanjay Dutt. I'll let you continue here, Mr. T.
Where are we at here? Sanjay Dutt. Excuse me. It's absolutely not true. So he, being Brett, calls up Willie Mack and says, well, I wasn't pulled. I was specifically not pulled by Christopher Daniels, made it clear that I should go. From the AEW standpoint, they are saying that nothing like that had happened. And Willie Mack called them and asked if it would be cool. I'm sorry, if it would be a good problem. Wait a minute. Hold the fuck up. I'm pulling a
I got it. I'll read it. I'll read it. It's hard to read Dave Meltzer because he's a fucking idiot. From the AEW standpoint, they are saying that nothing like that happened, and Willie Mack called them and asked if it would be a problem to go. And they said, you can go. Maybe he took it the wrong way, but AEW was very, very clear. And look, Sanjay told Brett the same thing. They're not pulling Willie Mack from the show. He is under contract there, and he's not wrestling Saturday. There's two different sides of the story, and ultimately it was Willie Mack's choice. Was he pressured, or did he just do it on his own? I don't know. All right. This is a problem, though. Okay,
Yeah.
The fact that now there is a concern whether AEW pulled him, pressured him to pull out of a date he had set, or if he just pulled out on his own. The problem is, if he just pulled out on his own, if we didn't have the Ricky Starks thing, if we didn't have the Ray Phoenix thing, which we will get to, and the Ryan Nemeth thing, which we will get to as well, if we didn't have all those situations, this would be pretty cut and dry. I think most people would say, okay, he just didn't want to go and he's trying to use AEW as a scapegoat. With all those other things, it does give me a hunch that people at AEW, these middle managers, are fucking around with stuff. And whether it's for Daniels or Sanjay Dutt or whoever the fuck is in the back, right? Some of these people are just fucking around with shit. And this is a problem. Man, you're burning bridges with indie
now you're burning bridges with indie companies while WWE is doing this ID stuff, which arguably
GCW is not a small indie either.
No,
they're one of the more sizable indie promotions.
And let's be real, WWE is gonna go in and probably do some ID stuff with JCW now because all this shit that's happening now. It's like,
yeah.
Well, here's my thing.
Somebody has to come in and like clamp down and be like, we got to stop getting all this bad PR. Because
my big question is, when did Willie Mack sign a contract with Ring of Honor AEW? That's my thing, because I didn't know he's even signed with the company. I remember him making his showing up a couple months ago for one of their shows, but I didn't know he signed. So
yeah, I thought that was one of the television tryouts, like what Ricky Starks got.
Yeah,
okay. yeah, I think TNT title match, that was his tryout. He wasn't under contract.
And Willie Mack's a really good talent too. So for them to fuck around with him too, that's ridiculous.
The fact that you have this going on pretty early into his tenure, it's not good.
No.
It's not good. Now, whether he fucked up, whether AEW fucked up, and now they're trying to push the blame on him,
or they both fucked up,
GCW fucked up, I don't know what's going on. The thing is, there's a couple. I have a feeling probably everyone fucked up a little bit at least.
Yeah.
But either way, someone has to take the majority of the blame here. And who is it going to be? We don't know. Hopefully we get more information on it. I would like to see. But yeah, that's the Willie Mack stuff. So let's say disgruntled employee. Well, he's not really disgruntled, but you know what I mean. It's situation number 2. Okay.
Yep.
Now, all of these have happened in the last 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
Right? Some of these Willie Mack was pretty recent, and so is Ryan Nemeth and the
Ricky Starks was.
Ricky was a little further
before Survivor Series. Was before Survivor Series? We were hearing about that stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, we ended up not covering it because we were going to cover it for a video.
Yeah.
On its own, and then we decided to wait to see if there was going to be more.
And that was a good idea.
I don't know if this is going to be it. Turns out we ended up actually doing a good job by waiting, because now we can tie it all in here together and do that. But yeah. So next.
Situation number 3 now.
Situation number 3. Mr. T, do you want to tell us who is involved in situation number 3 here?
Dun 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 dun. Dolph Ziggler's brother, Ryan Nemeth.
Yep.
Yes, Ziggler's brother.
Yeah,
Ryan Nemeth. Who, by the way, isn't even in AEW anymore, is he? He's in TNA.
No. He got he got fired in
yeah.
March from AEW.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's in TNA now.
So if anyone doesn't remember, I was I was the only one watching this episode when CM Punk came back, when it was the first episode of Collision. Pretty much CM Punk got on the mic and said that he was sorry that there was half the wrestlers that you liked, talking to the fans, you're as soft as wrestlers that you like, or something like that. and Ryan Nemeth put a tweet out saying CM Punk was the softest man alive, right? So apparently Punk confronted him backstage afterwards and said, "Hey, what the fuck's this? What's your fucking problem?" He's like, "Oh no, don't worry about it, man. I'm just working. I'm a heel. I'm just trying to get heat." That no one knew who the fuck you are, but you're trying to put yourself in there like, "Oh, I can use this for myself." Just shut the fuck up. Anyway, Ryan Nemeth clarifies his tweet aimed at CM Punk. When CM Punk returned to AEW television on the premiere episode of AEW Collision, he said that the only people softer than the fans are the wrestlers they liked, which is not kind of lying. Cream, can you read that for the people, please?
I don't know what reading is, but I'll try. It says Nemeth took to social media to tweet literally the softest man alive. Speaking to Sportskeeda, Nemeth clarified his tweet. There are some things I can talk about and some things I can't talk about. I can very happily tell you about my tweet. The top good guy on the TV show was missing for 8 months due to what I was told was a tricep injury, right? On his very first night back, he, in character, called someone else soft. I thought, well, I'm a heel, this is a babyface, and we both work for the same wrestling company. He gets injured more than anyone who has ever wrestled, and on his very first night back, in character, called someone else soft. I thought, what else am I supposed to do? Of course I must respond to this in character. In character.
Yeah,
and I
character.
did. Anything beyond that, I'm probably not safely able to talk about at this time. I think that's a very reasonable thing for a bad guy heel to say in response to a heroic babyface who seems to be a little bit hypocritical. Is that fair? He said. Sportskeeda said, "Lick my balls," in response. They didn't actually. Fightful Select published the following report on Nemeth and Punk on August 13th. We've now heard stories from many sides of the AEW Collision / CM Punk / removal situation. As highlighted on August 13th, Ryan Nemeth was brought into North Carolina before the tapings, before he was promptly sent home. We've learned more about the words that they had recently, According to those familiar with the situation, Punk approached Nemeth when the two were at the Chicago Dynamite, where Punk was asked to be at. Punk spoke to Nemeth and asked him to make good on his literally the softest man alive tweet. The two moved out of the locker room and into a hallway where those close to Punk claimed Nemeth said he was working to get heat. Punk believed that the tweet was Nemeth trying to score points with his friends and asked him to knock it off because tensions were high and they were trying to move on. He said that he didn't want Nemeth being passive aggressive unless they were handling it another way. People close to Punk claim that Nemeth apologized and the two shook hands. It was confirmed to us that Punk didn't want Nemeth on Collision, even eating in catering, much less wrestling on the show.
That's funny. That's funny.
It wasn't clarified to us that was because of his tweet or the relationship with the Elite. In addition, Nick Houseman of House of Wrestling reported that the reason Christopher Daniels was kept from Collision because Ace Steel and CM Punk's friend, Ace Steel, CM Punk's friend, is not allowed at Collision. Punk didn't see that as fair, as Daniels was also involved in breaking up the Brawl Out fight last September. We've made an effort to reach out to Nemeth, but he's off social media. Nemeth has not wrestled on AEW television since November 2023. Yeah, Punk is now back in the WWE, sidelined again with the triceps injury, but yeah. So, anyways, this is what they reported on at the time.
Now, there's more to this story too.
Yeah, because that's old. That's from last year where Punk was out with the injury.
Right.
Yeah.
Also, there's more to the story. Apparently, he called the HR person too. Apparently, he called HR on Punk. He called
What
HR.
a pussy.
Oh,
What
it
a
gets
fucking pussy.
it gets better, Trey. Just hold on.
Okay.
It gets better.
All right.
Next part. Okay.
A wrestling company having an HR person is wild.
Yes,
He called the
exactly.
HR person. So her name, I believe her name was Omega or Mega.
It's Kenny.
It's something very weird.
He comes out
of
the HR office with the fucking broom. He's sweeping.
I can't remember her name. I think it was Mika or it's something really weird. She's a part of the Jacksonville Jaguars legal team.
Oh, yes,
can't
she was
remember
the
her
one
name.
who was involved in the brawl.
Yeah,
Oh.
it's her. I just can't remember her name offhand. Anyways, he called her twice and said CM Punk threatened me. Apparently, he said he felt threatened by Punk. Yada yada yada. He was bitching, complaining. Then he told everyone he wanted to become a salary worker because he was the guy that was getting paid by per date. He wasn't signed to a contract by AEW, so he wanted to get paid to be a actual, employed by the company. He wanted to be paid. And hilarious part was this: he he gave them an ultimatum: pay me my money that I want, or I'll sign an NDA, and then we'll make this all go away. So apparently, they were working at a deal in beginning of December, and apparently the deal was going to be 3 years, and it was going to be a salary contract. So finally, someone from the department from over there, HR, legal, whoever, came out and said, "We have no more interest in this situation. We're done." So that's why he was released in March of last year in 23. So
He never got his contract.
Never did. So now he's with his brother because that's the only time he can be relevant in TNA.
So where does this connect with AEW more? Because this is kind of an old story that we're getting an update on. Where is there any more newer information involving the Elite, for example?
Yeah, there was. I just can't find it. Apparently they said the Bucks had his back. He said the Bucks had his back. They said John Moxley told him personally, I don't like this situation. I don't like it at all. Who the hell is this guy? Apparently that's what Moxley was telling him too. And apparently they said they had his back. Then Ryan
he's just basically being like, nah, the boys got me.
Yeah,
well, they obviously didn't have his back enough to give him a fucking contract now, did they?
He was
give him a contract. Didn't your boys didn't have your back to have you keep your job?
Oh, and it gets.
I think he's a bullshit artist. I'm gonna be honest.
Yeah,
and it gets better than this. Apparently, he said he was told to come into TV one night when Punk was not a Collision. I think it was on Dynamite, I believe. Whatever the case was, I didn't see it, but he's claimed that he was told to go out to the crowd and to belittle, to just basically just call out CM Punk, basically just bury his ass. That's his standpoint. I've never seen the video unless it was for the house. I've never seen it. Okay.
Yeah.
My thing is this: if he was told to do something like that, do I put it past them? No, I kind of believe the Bucks.
Not with how they've been acting. No. How they've acted with Ricky Starks just going through Mania and the Royal Rumble to visit, not even to be on camera.
Yeah.
I wouldn't put it past them, but I really do get bullshit artist vibes off of Mr. Nemeth. Not the good one, the bad one.
The HR stuff. You're a fucking pussy. If you're a wrestler, one, if you have an HR, I don't know, understand what wrestlers HR thing. The fuck out of here, man.
Well, that's the thing too. Christopher Daniels is the talent relation guy, right?
Yeah,
but that should be
going to him.
Yeah, and that's the hilarious part to me is about this whole thing. First of all, people kept on complaining and bitching about how Collision and Dynamite were separate. That was Tony's call. He clearly told CM Punk, if you go back and watch the Ariel Helwani interview, he clearly said, I want you to keep everyone separate so we can just, move along. But Tony didn't think, or he was just high off his ass like usual. You know, all these guys are going to be here to a pay-per-view, you know, eventually. Example, All Out.
Yeah.
In Wembley. Or was that All In? Whatever that pay-per-view's called. All In, All Out. What the
They
fuck?
have them literally back to back, which
Yeah,
is
so
All Out, All In. Yeah.
And
I think All In is Wembley.
okay, so that's
All In was Wembley, yeah.
and that's when, you know, that's what all went down with Jack Perry. That's the point.
Yeah, All Out was that was Chicago. That was Brawl Out.
Yeah,
the one where they were in the locker room and somebody bit Ace Steel bit someone.
Kenny Omega. He bit Omega.
Why are you biting people in a fight, Ace Steel?
Yeah.
Ace Steel, I've seen Ace Steel, bro. He doesn't need to bite Kenny Omega to beat him. What are you fucking? He's just a fucking freak.
This is the whole story that I know about that fight. Apparently, they kicked in the door. The Bucks
or hit the dog.
Yeah, they hit the dog. They kicked the dog. They kicked the door open, hit the dog, and knocked the dog's tooth out. Which is, you can go look the Punk's dog now. He is missing a tooth, right? Punk said,
to be fair, I don't think they would have kicked in the door if they knew the dog was there. I think they probably went and like, oh no.
Yeah. So apparently they said Punk was mad, which I don't blame him. You just kicked my fucking dog in the face. I'm already dealing with a tricep tear.
I feel like if you did that on accident and you're trying to explain, oh my God, I'm so sorry, I'm still going to beat your ass.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that, so apparently he punched one of the Bucks. I don't know which one it was. He punched one of the Bucks. Ace Steel threw a chair and hit one of the Bucks cold out, knocked him the fuck out, apparently.
Just yeeted him out of he just let his soul leave his body. Yeah, I remember that.
He got knocked the fuck out. Then they said Kenny Omega saw the dog. He picked him up, trying to get him to safety, I guess, checking on the dog.
Ace but Steel obviously, CM Punk is going to be like, where are you taking my fucking dog?
Yeah.
We're in the middle of a fight. Are you stealing my dog?
And apparently his wife, Ace Steel, was in the locker room too, and apparently she is somewhat handicapped or something like that, I think. So they said that she saw the whole thing too, and they said that he was protecting his wife because he didn't know what was going down. I wish there was camera footage of this. I would have loved to see this shit.
So they managed to accidentally beat up a dog and make a handicapped woman feel threatened. They're the greatest heels of all time, actually.
And let this be known fact, by the way. If they ever do a Dark Side of the Ring episode, none of these people can talk except one person, Ace Steel's wife, because she's not contracted by AEW not to talk about it.
Oh, that's true. So yeah, she's not under an NDA.
No, only Punk, Ace Steel, and the Bucks and Omega are. That's it.
Eventually it'll come out. But that's an update concerning the whole Punk stuff, which was, I think, where a lot of people will say this is where the company really started going downhill. Them signing Punk was great. Personally, I think when Cody left,
that was the real.
It was over. That was the snowball at the top of the mountain.
Yeah,
starting to move.
How long after he left did he join WWE? Like a couple months.
Yeah, he debuted in April, so he left around maybe
January 2022.
Yeah. Yes, because everyone thought he was going to be in the Rumble, and he
because he did that shoot promo.
Yeah,
before he left.
Yeah. My thing is that was one. Okay, when Cody left. Number two, in my humble opinion, and I'm just a retard. Literally, I'm a retard, right? You
are retarded.
You saw me try to read that story. I was fucking up. Boris and Mazda was trying to spell me.
Our slogan: we keep it real retarded over here.
Yeah.
Here's my thing. I think the whole CM Punk thing has been snake bitten from the beginning of that whole run. Because number one, the Bucks didn't want to make money because they were already there for 2 or 3 years at the point, and the company was still in the red. They've never drawn a fucking dime. They don't move merch. They don't make people buy pay-per-views. They don't,
and they don't have ratings anymore.
No,
they don't. No. They don't actually achieve anything in any ratings.
Their ratings,
even if you want to go any metric you want to use, they are falling behind WWE. And in some cases, they're falling behind something like TNA. Some kind.
TNA is making more moves right now. They're doing a show out here in LA.
Yeah. TNA is making money. I bet you Anthem is probably making.
I'm gonna say
money.
TNA is the unofficial second wrestling company right now. technically it's AEW, but I feel like TNA is like the unofficial. At
one point, it was Ring of Honor, and then Ring of Honor died and got absorbed into AEW, and now it's TNA again. But yeah, I mean,
it's ridiculous. The whole commonality of this, and we're gonna get to the Ray Phoenix thing here in a minute. The wwhole commonality of this whole thing is Tony Khan. He doesn't know what he's doing. He's way over his fucking head.
It's like if we were look. I'm gonna be honest. If we tried to run a wrestling company and we had unlimited money, we would probably make these mistakes.
Yeah.
No, I wouldn't.
I don't know. I feel like we would.
We make some mistakes. Maybe we would. Tony.
Maybe we would learn from. I'd like to think that we would learn from them as opposed to what Tony does, where you would keep making mistakes. But look, he doesn't know what he's doing. He's never been a part of the wrestling industry. He was a fan,
and he wants to bitch at Eric Bischoff right now. This is what teen AEW fans want to do. They want to bitch at Eric Bischoff because he's right.
Bitch at Eric Bischoff, man. Like Eric Bischoff, who you could have had work for your company, right? Now, would Eric go on the road all the time? Fuck no. He doesn't want to do that. He won't even do that for WWE. He's not going to do it for you. But you could hire him as a consultant.
Well, I mean, you kind of did.
As a consultant. You could have hired a couple people, and you could have actually listened to them, and they didn't. Right? Mark Henry was there.
Yep.
I'm certain Mark Henry probably gave
want to use the same argument. Oh, but Eric Bischoff take WCW. Like, you realize that's why he didn't want. That's probably why he doesn't want this company to take, because he sees how much they're fumbling the ball.
And also, you don't have to listen to everything he says.
Yeah, and also, let's be real.
You can be a normal human.
It wasn't just Eric Bischoff.
It wasn't. It was Russo as well. And it was also Turner. It was Turner as well. But Bischoff did play a part, and Hogan. Yeah. And there's a bunch of reasons.
Let's just put it this way. Everyone had a finger in that old whore in WCW. Everyone had a finger in that shit. Okay.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Eric was just the one who was married to it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Right. So here's the thing. You don't have to listen to everything Eric Bischoff says, okay? Just like I'm certain that Paul Heyman has a big influence on the WWE right now, creatively.
Yeah.
I guarantee you he is part of the creative team again. I don't think we've ever said anything officially. I know he was when they were doing the Bobby Lashley Rusev stuff. He was back.
That's when he was.
But then they got rid of him again. But I think he's back. But I don't think Triple H listens to everything he has to say.
Oh, hell no.
And I don't think Paul. I think Paul Heyman's smart enough to know that, like, I don't have all the answers. I have a bunch of ideas, and I will throw them out, and I am leaving it up to you to pick the best ones of what I'm giving you, right? And I think Paul Heyman is smart enough to understand that. And I think that's how most people are. Look, I think there's a lot of people who could book AEW better than what it's being booked right now. All right, there are people. Really, anyone booking.
Yeah.
I think because this company is in fucking dire straits creatively. Financially, though, it doesn't matter how much money they lose. I mean, Tony Khan is going to inherit more money than the company TKO has on paper. Okay. So they're fine. They can bleed money for fucking decades. Decades they can bleed money. At some point, he would probably cut contracts, right? People would get released. They would slim down if things got real bad and they lost the TV deal. But that company's still going to be around, and they're still going to have money. Worst case scenario, it becomes like an NWA, but it's staying open.
As long as Tony puts money into it, AEW will be around. That's not the problem. And going back to
he doesn't know how to book. And there's a lot of people who could book better. Eric Bischoff said, fucking Bully Ray.
Yeah.
Okay.
Bully Ray, yeah.
That'd be good. That could be good. I mean,
Eric Bischoff, I think at this point. They have Jeff Jarrett. They have Jeff Jarrett there.
Yeah.
I don't know. There has got to be something on the inside of that company.
Fuck, even Christopher Daniels, if you just let him actually be a booker, he'd probably be better.
No, I'm good. I don't want Christopher Daniels nowhere near.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm good on that one. It's just like Christian. I don't know if you guys heard about Christian. Apparently, he booked himself to win that battle royal. He wasn't even supposed to win it. That was just a news article came out a couple days ago too.
Oh shit!
But you know what? That was probably one of the better creative decisions.
Better ideas.
Yeah.
Christian's the best
Honestly,
thing besides Lashley. That's the best thing they have.
Yeah. He's their best heel.
Yeah,
I love what they've been doing with Christian. Actually,
besides the whole Hook shit, that's
the Hook shit was kind of
him not cashing in yet, and him not cashing in his.
Well, that's the same. To be fair, that's the same problem I have with Tiffany Stratton with Miss Money in the Bank.
Yeah, Triple H's not good with that either. But I think we should. I think we should move on to the Phoenix.
Yeah, we should move on to Rey Fenix. This one is probably the worst of all of them.
Yeah, this is the most egregious.
If this is true, again, a lot of the stuff is alleged. All right, it's a lot of he said, she said. Rey Fenix. Let's just get into it. Yeah. Okay.
Now these tweets that you guys are seeing here have been deleted. So people took screenshots of these, and these are the screenshots that he said a couple of days ago on Twitter.
I feel bad, man, because if you look, there is a 2-day difference between when he put the first tweet and the second tweet up.
Yeah.
When somebody just puts up a tweet that just says, "Oh, no one stays in a place with received inhumane treatment," and you're talking about being a professional wrestler, rightfully, I think a lot of people were roasting him.
Yeah,
myself included. I think I said he's a bitch, mid bitch wrestler. I think I said at the end. I roasted him.
Yeah.
Not like he ever fucking saw it, but I did.
He was probably too busy eating a burrito, but it is what it is.
He's too easy. Yeah. Oh my god.
No, he was probably too busy needing a fucking doctor that he wasn't getting.
Yeah, and it proves CM Punk right what he said during the Ariel Rouhani podcast.
I got his cover on that one. I got his cover.
Well, and WWE did that with Punk. Remember his whole style infection shit? And that's what led to him leaving. Was the main catalyst.
But on their defense, that was the old regime. That was Vince. That was Dr. Amon or Doc Amon, whatever his name is.
Yeah.
Who's not there? I don't think he's there anymore.
He's not there anymore now.
I think he is. I think he's actually the actual ringside doctor now. So it's kind of weird, but yeah, it's kind of weird.
But
he's still there.
I assume if Punk gets injured, he's not dealing with Doc Amon.
No,
I feel like
fuck no. Fuck no.
No.
I feel like Doc Amon is now reporting to another doctor. All right, he's more like Nurse Amon at this point.
Nurse Amon. Okay.
So 2 days later, Rey Fenix puts up that he needed a doctor and he was ignored for months.
Yeah.
If that's true, fuck AEW.
Fuck up, bro. That's bad. That's
because this is not the first incident that this has happened to. Because if you remember, like Trey was saying, this happened to CM Punk too, and
Punk brought it up in the interview.
This happened to many of wrestlers that I know of, like this whole situation. Like Tony, here's my thing about that real quick. Tony wants to. How can I say this? Tony wants to be nice to the guys that are not injured, right? But when shit goes down, like injuries or something happens, he tries to distance himself immediately and ghosts people. So he's like, okay, I'll pay you your money, but just don't bother me, kind of thing, right?
Yeah.
That's the same thing in this situation that I agree with. I think this whole situation is fucked. It's the same way with CM Punk, and I'm gonna play the clip. I'm gonna share my screen right now. I don't think we'll get hit. This is on the tubes, so I think
hopefully we don't get hit. If we do get hit, just understand if there's a weird cut here, we probably got hit.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Nobody in the company spoke to me for I don't know 6 months.
How's that possible?
I don't know.
Not a soul.
Paid for my surgery, booked my surgery. Thankfully, Dr. Sampson, who I knew from WWE, I have a good rapport with, like he helped me with that. But I was on my own and all that stuff. And If you think I deserve to be, fired or treated like that, that's your opinion. It's none of my business what you think of me. But doing this one and the recovery for this one, based on how the recovery went for that one, I'm just like, man, it's night and day. And it's almost the comparison between, places where there's structure and there's protocols and there's professional people in charge of things. And I'm not having to research and find a PT spot. I had no help.
Wow.
Yeah. I remember. I don't. That's fucked.
And that's not the only thing too.
I get it. If you're an indie company, and you can't afford that, I totally get it.
Yeah.
You're a company that touted that you were going to do better than WWE, and one of the ways you touted was your health, the wrestler's health, and then you're worse. Again, the same thing they said with the women's division, the same thing they said about the video games too. Yeah. And guess what? All three ended up being fucking wrong.
Yep.
No, this company keeps hyping up expectations
and dropping the ball
and under delivering every single
not even just dropping the ball, slamming the ball on the fucking ground.
The ultimate disappointment in professional wrestling is AEW. Because they will just glaze and be like, we are going to do this and this and this. And you, as a wrestling fan, are like, okay, this is what I've been wanting out of a wrestling company. I'm inclined to believe that they will. And then they don't offer what they're saying.
Yeah, the only thing
I wish they would. I want AEW to be good so badly.
WWE got better because I guess they came around. That's it.
But did WWE get better because of AEW, or did it get better because Vince was gone?
Yeah.
I think it could be
probably both.
Because NXT was pretty good when Triple H was running it.
Yeah.
And that was before there was really any competition.
And I'm going to say it, WWE at its worst is still better than AEW. I'm going to say it.
That's true. AEW talked about how they wanted to make their women's division really, really good, right? They complained about WWE not focusing on the women's division. Well, guess what? NXT has the best women's division in professional wrestling right now.
And some of their women are even the main roster ones like Rhea and Bianca are almost as over as the men.
Yep.
Can you name an AEW women?
Rhea at one point was the most over person in the company for a month.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, for a good couple of months. Yeah.
She was up there with Cody.
The Raw after Mania.
Raw after Mania because Cody kind of had, because he didn't win the title. So he kind of thinned out a little bit until he won the Rumble. But none of the AEW women are anywhere near as over as their men. Granted, the men aren't over either, but
well, going back to the
AEW has a problem with all their divisions, but
for example, Danhausen. Danhausen's been out for months, and he was one of the CM Punk guys. He was friends with Punk. He said he's not talked to anyone in AEW in 6 months. The only way he can contact people is to do independent signings and sometimes matches, but he's not wrestled anywhere that I've known. He's just doing autograph signings, and he has to get the okay from AEW to do so. But they haven't even contacted him in months to come back to TV.
It's ridiculous. That's no way. And I don't care what anyone says. That is not acceptable as a company to do.
No,
and it's not acceptable in any industry.
No,
to just ghost your fucking employees like that. To leave them kind of high and dry and not sure where they stand. That is inappropriate, and it should be leading the lawsuits. To be honest, it really should. I know it probably won't, but it should.
Imagine us being a football player, getting hurt on a football team's time on the field, getting hurt, and needs surgery.
NFLPA would fucking sue the owner into oblivion.
Exactly, like Jackson.
Or the NBA. What if this happened in the NBA or the
NBAPA? Yep, MLBPA. All they all have players associations, which stop this. Now, do I think wrestlers need a wrestling association? I don't think so.
No,
I don't think so. But this is what people point to and be like, maybe AEW needs one because of the way you're acting. you're going to lead to people wanting unions
Yeah.
because you are being so fucking belligerent
Competent.
and so fucking incompetent.
Yeah.
And it's having real world effects on your fucking employees who you say you care more about than anyone else in professional wrestling. But in reality, you can talk the talk, but you can't walk the walk. And that's been the story with this company the entire fucking time. Right?
And again, Tony wants to be friends with everybody, but when stuff goes down, he ghosts people so he doesn't have to deal with the problem anymore.
When a difficult situation erupts, he runs from it.
Yeah.
He wants to hide. He hides like a little bitch.
Yeah,
whatever you think of Vince took like the steroids trial. He took it on the chin. He would face it head on.
He literally took a hit from Bret Hart on the chin.
Yeah, took a punch from Bret Hart.
Like he literally took it on the chin. He got I mean, credit to Vince. Whatever.
Here's the thing.
When he fucked up, he would allow you to vent your anger towards him.
Yeah.
And here's the thing about Vince. If you wanted to fight, Vince would fight. He didn't fear for his fucking life like Tony did in All In.
I feared for my life. Yeah,
well, and
guess
also,
what?
like I said,
Vince didn't hold grudges, really.
No.
I mean, there was probably a couple where he held grudges, but
Macho Man.
Yeah.
Macho Man. Yeah.
No, but he let Macho Man in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
Well, that's a whole I don't count Vince.
I think that had more to do with Triple H. Same with
because I mean,
but
because Randy wanted to go in as a family. He wanted to go as a Hall of Fame with his brother and his dad, like the Von Erichs.
Yeah, it's me. Yeah, I want to go in with Lanny. Yeah, he can suck his own dick. Yeah.
Yeah, well, right now, Vince.
Listen, my brother sucking his dick. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Where's Stephanie at? Y'all like to see her one more time? Yeah. See the
he brought Brett back. Bringing Brett back, that's like a big one.
Yeah.
And if he was still around, I'm gonna say it. I think he probably would have brought Punk back too, eventually.
No, I don't think so.
I don't know if Punk would have come back, but he would have been open to bringing him back. That's the thing. Vince was open to bringing everyone back. It's just not everyone was open to coming back, right?
Yeah, but I've heard a lot of stories. People close to that situation said Vince was very, very hurt at Punk because apparently when Punk told him he was leaving, apparently Vince told him and said, "No, that's the CTE talking. That's the concussion talking."
Oh.
He said he was going home.
That's the Benoit you talking.
That's the concussion talking, pal.
So yeah, that's a whole different story for a different time. But the point being is,
wild, but
at least Vince, if you wanted to fight Vince, at least he stepped up to the plate and say, "Okay, motherfucker, if you want to fight, we're gonna fight. And if you got a problem, let's work it out." Like the whole the all in stuff with the brawl out, that shit would have never happened if they had someone like a Vince backstage. That shit would have been squashed that day.
Even a Triple H, Vince or a Triple H would not have let that happen.
Yeah. And that's the thing. What kind of EVPs go into a locker room and kick the door down like they own the place? I'll tell you, these little fucking dweebs from Cucamonga, you fucking dwarfs.
Because they think they're badass. We're the young cucks. We think we're badasses.
They're like I said, the whole common denominator, the whole situation, all these stories coming together is Tony. He's incompetent. He needs to get someone that knows what the fuck they're doing. He needs to go sit his little autistic ass down somewhere, look at his fucking big ass freaking boards with freaking players not been drafted in the NFL, and do that shit again. Take your fucking things and sit the fuck down. You don't know what you're talking about. You are a terrible booker. I would not let Tony Khan fucking book me a flight to America Airlines for fuck's sake.
No, I wouldn't let Tony tie my shoes.
I wouldn't let Tony deal with my rigorous schedule on a Saturday of just, I don't know, fucking.
It's embarrassing.
Moving around the house, doing random fucking things, trying to avoid as many chores as possible, but ending up caving in and doing a little bit anyways. With that, I think that's kind of where we leave it. We've been going for an hour. AEW is in a really bad state. This is really, really, really fucking bad.
The
And,
shills, even to where the shills had to admit this
Before
company's fucked.
yeah.
Before we go
They-
home, we're going to compare this real quick. Do we compare this to 2000 WCW, or do we think it's worse?
It's worse.
Than WCW?
Worse, bro.
I was saying it was worse before the Ricky Starks situation happened.
Yeah, I was saying it was worse. Even just us watching Dynamite.
Yeah.
WCW 2000.
I knew it was fucked when they fired Punk. I knew this whole thing was going to go because remember when the Punk got fired, the Young Bucks came out the next night and they did that stupid victory dance, victory lap. Yeah,
I remember that. I remember when Cody left, and this was before I was, doing any podcasting and stuff. I was like,
yeah,
this is fucked. This is fucked. This guy was the face of your company, and he's gone.
He smashed the throne.
He was, He was the face of your company, who was also an integral part of the company, how it worked.
Yeah.
He was the one guy out of the EVPs who had been to WWE.
And now look at
seeing
Cody.
how a major promotion worked.
Now Cody's the John Cena, pretty much now, of WWE.
He's the face of a whole era of wrestling now.
And that's the thing too about Cody. Cody learned from his dad. He learned from his dad, from his mistakes and stuff like that. There's no one telling me that Cody was not hands-on when he was an EVP there at that company. Because he was the only one that gave a shit.
Yeah.
Of course not.
Yeah.
And he learned from his dad.
That shoot promo he did before he left showed it.
Let's be honest. Where do you think Paul Heyman learned how to book wrestling?
Yeah.
It's from Dusty. It's from Dusty.
Yeah.
Dusty was a fucking great booker. Yes, he used the Dusty finish too many fucking times.
And he had some stinkers.
There was some bad shit that Dusty did, but everyone has some bad shit. I would take Dusty's bad booking over Tony Khan's bad booking any day.
Yep.
I would take Dusty's bad booking over Tony Khan's good booking any fucking day.
We've been hanging out with Mazda too much. That's what Mazda calls him.
Tony Khan.
Well,
with that, I think we're ready to go home, boys. We're ready to wrap this up.
Let's go.
We're gonna do the little Jake the Snake thing where you go. Rrr. That was a good gesture. Good on Jake the Snake for that one. All right, thank you everybody for watching, and until next time, lick my nuts.
We'll see you guys Saturday.
Lick them. Do what you want. Stick them.
Join the